What's going on, 4Game friends? John here. Welcome back to the channel where we think simple, have fun, and get things done with 4Game Dynamics. Today, we're fighting with swords. So this is it. We've arrived at Mount Shasta. We spent the first day kind of getting settled in. We met Jamie, just started brainstorming and talking about what we wanted to do. We're here at 4Games Ranch. It's the first video. Why not get the creator of 4Games himself, Jamie Combs, kind of explaining how can anyone put on the 4Game lens? I pitched that as the video concept for him, and he says, why don't you guys fix up this punching bag for me? And then come by the gym after and we'll do some sword fighting with it. I'm like, what? This sounds like some Mr. Miyagi stuff. Garrett, who you'll meet, Garrett Daly, philosopher extraordinaire. We're going out to Ace Hardware. We were tasked with getting all the 4Game colors of tape. I actually do have experience with sword. When I was a kid, I did karate, but what I haven't done is fought a dude with swords yet. That's new to me. I haven't fought someone with swords yet. It'll be great. See you guys in a sec. Pause. Before we make and start ferociously beating the very fun multicolored punching bag, I'm sure you're all wondering, what is this 4Game stuff anyway? And to that, I defer to Jamie.
4Games, in the short way of talking about it, is a way of looking at things. It's a lens upon the world. No, I think 4Games is for people who want to navigate their life a little more creatively, a little more autonomously, a little more generatively.
Back in 2018, Garrett introduced me to Jamie on Twitter. Since then, I've used 4Games to learn new skills, accomplish goals, and get through some pretty tough spots in my life. But 4Games has been chained away in DM groups for years now, and it annoys me to no end. And so I'm here to share 4Games with the world by making the most useful 5-minute video ever. Or, you know, pretty good. By the timestamp you see on screen, we're going to create the 5-minute video. You can click ahead and watch it if you want. This video overall, though, is the first episode in a show where I'm a contestant taking on some of the craziest challenges that I've always dreamed of. I'll be bringing on mentors that I respect, maybe some you've heard of, and putting their lessons to the test. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe below. But until then, it's punching bag time. So we got old Garrett Daly over here.
This is harder that way.
We have green mid-game tape, purple deep game tape, and we're going to tape this boy up. Just do a little time lapse, show you that process. Jamie told me he's owned this punching bag for 20 years, and that what he's going to show us with it helped him start his massive company, Natural Balance Foods. Looks like we're giving a makeover to something with a lot of sentimental and practical value to Jamie. I really hope that we can use it to get some great stories out of him. All right, so this main boy is done. As you can see, we got short, mid, long, deep game sections to give a little kick or a punch, hit with a sword or something. And we got the OG 4Game symbol up top. Like, if you've been with this little gadget here for a long time, or what's the significance of it?
Yeah, when in my early days, I was trying to externalize this. I was kind of grappling with how to conceptualize it, because one of the things I needed to do was get rid of all this physical energy running this business. It was winding me up. I go through whatever I was thinking about and really consciously, what is it I'm talking about? What is? No, it's not that, it's this. It's kind of like that. Just as I'm thinking out loud to myself, I want to be able to focus my attention willfully and skillfully in these certain dimensions in a way that is generative for everybody. What I'm doing is opening up the 4Games of other people. Okay. Therefore, we've sliced chaos into a few dimensions, and I'm just trying to give them reps in each dimension. Okay. And so I'll optimize that. Imagine that. Right. Now.
This is cool.
Right. So now. Yeah.
I don't think it will work on. Oh yeah, it does. Ooh.
Fancy.
So
Look at me.
So if I was really going to be like the most snarky, and be okay, you're going to do our 4Game try. We'll try to see as little as possible. Like you, I just hand you the sword and then give you these. You kind of like those glasses. What do you see when you look out at anything on those glasses?
There's a lightsaber now. Yeah, this is cool. I see, rainbow spectrum on everything, right?
Everywhere you look, right? Well, kind of like that. 4Games is a lens, kind of like that. Where do you want to look first?
My attention's on the green stuff, honestly, because we're in, just out there, that's the most beautiful view I've ever seen.
Right, and put on your mid-game glasses.
Okay. Can we get like the mountain in the green? I'm the green goblin.
those are all the dimensions of reality. And we can start anywhere we want. And they represent the inner, outer, narrative, and metaphoric sense of what's going on. And then now you put those on and you're looking through them.
Right.
I'm not looking through them, I'm looking at a dude in green glasses.
They match my pants.
So you can explain all of that, or you can just say, dude, come to my mid game, we'll work on your foregames, and I can put a sword in your hand and start attacking you and talking at you and making you react. Okay. Well, each of us as an object in space, right? We have a center line running straight down us, facing out this way, right? So if I get this way, you're looking that way, your center line's going that way, my center line's going this way. So if you do this, for instance, that's your center line, right? So if you walk forward and I walk forward, that's where our direction is taking. I want to get off your center line. You can't hurt me. And I want to destroy your center line.
If you do that to me again,
Yep.
let's say you're the crisis of being and complexity. The correct move
Yeah.
is that, but most people go,
Yeah, here. You do have something to be scared of.
but you don't throw it away.
And now you have choices. This is where the next idea of tempo comes in. Either I'm attacking you, I'm coming at you, and you're responding to me, or you're coming to me, and I'm getting out of your way, right? So one of the things I think is really important to get that emotional sense in a modern world, the equivalent of this, is you got a lot coming at you, dude. It doesn't make any sense. You're not gonna have time to think about it. You're just gonna have to be comfortable with shit coming at you. And that's cool because you know what happens when stuff comes at you? You learn the next lesson. Once you block it, and that will pop. And the feeling of oh shit versus bop is you take the tempo. Man, you are a dangerous man within this zone. You can of course hit me this way, right? But you can also hit that, get that strength. So I really want to stay out of this whole field. Because now, I've got the freedom to do this, right? And you're gonna be able to. There you go.
That was fun.
There you go. So you start to get this sense, which then translates into foregames. I've got this zone of attention. But if I position myself, I can generate a lot of force. You know a lot about sword fighting without knowing anything about sword fighting. And then you start to appreciate how different gadgets affect you differently. For instance, what if I put this away instead of just one move, and I let you open up your hands? Same idea, but you've got this kind of circular, you do all this up and down, you do all that. Say that bit, and then you can strike forward, my quadrants. So now that's different, and notice how also, what I've done, again, I've given you the feeling, simple. Now you can block with one hand. So, an example of a different gadget expanding your long game options, right? Couldn't do that with one.
Right.
No matter how much you positively thought about it, no matter how much you felt about it. Right?
So far, learning the first 3 principles of sword has been fun. But as if things weren't weird enough, Jamie's about to take it up a notch.
Okay, so now I'll add an element, which is then music. Now think of the music that inspires you, fires you up, gets your body going.
Okay.
So now we're going to say, take some of those songs, and we're going to pretend that those songs are you talking to universe, deep game. That's a song to mystery itself. And then you're just going to let the vibe, energy of whatever that is, go through you. But in your mind, know that there's some long game link, a symbol, an archetype, a vibe that you can reliably know. I play that song, ding, this pops up. So and then I time that up with what we're doing.
You're not gonna like my playlist. It's all like Machine Gun Kelly and that's it. It's mostly just trashy punk rock. But
Okay. And then what does that elicit for you mostly?
feeling like I'm 14 again.
Okay.
It was never a phase. It's a lifestyle. Because I got your big shit.
Okay, which gives you like short game energy song.
Yeah. I'd be
I've
interested.
got old timer songs, but
I'd be interested to see what kind of song you picked for me.
all right, okay, this will be fun. I've got a bunch. I'll give you one. I'll be curious what you hear this. You should have heard. If you haven't heard, then
These are good.
but there's so many choices. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play this. You're just gonna work on your foregames, and you're just trying to make your body fluid with the song or your attitude or something. There you go. Just work your foregames.
Square dance. You can't hear this, but he's playing Eastbound and Down.
Trying to keep the principles, 4 games, and the song lyrics in my head all at once is melting my brain in the best way possible. This is like the weirdest form of meditation I've ever done.
At one point I was just like, and we're gonna come from there, go there, come from there, go there. But it's gonna be fun. Anything that was in your head before is gone.
Pick any other glasses you want and look at any other thing you want.
Okay. So these are long game.
Okay. And I look around and go, what's the story around here? What role does everybody think they're doing?
This is issue 1 of the John comic book, and he's meeting Spider-Man or whatever. He's meeting Nick Fury, and Nick Fury's going,
That's pretty ultimate in my book.
hey, there's this whole wide world of superheroes and supervillains out there, and you have this power. And
There's something fundamental archetypal about that whole piece. This is the part of the story where the old guy gives the young guy some gadget before he goes off into his adventure. And then the old timer dies, the young guy, that's the archetypal generational story
right.
that you're always a part of, right? Because you're always kind of, long game wise, we're always a part of these kind of 2 stories. Your own story from childhood to youth to adulthood to elderhood, right? And then also simultaneously that cultural ride as you go through and the generations fill in behind you. I think you're one of the early future teachers of it.
Okay.
So I'm also trying to get you to be conscious of this is just the way Jamie does it. Soon there's going to be the way I do it. And I'm going to go talk to 100 Jamies.
Okay.
Guys like that start by being guys like you doing things like this. Now we work out, right?
Physical one. Yeah, let's work. Tell me when.
You can go. It's rolling.
I'm in danger.
All right. We're rolling. Can you do one more for the video? Can you do a dip? You're good.
There's an ant on me. Ants everywhere.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere on the patio.
Oh my god!
You're fine. They're not gonna want you in a second.
Getting people to imagine, because it is evocative, it sounds like a thing in your brain kind of can't not put one together.
Yeah.
And the one you put together is interesting. And it's like, but yeah, I've always thought the capsule that stone cold sober voice in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Even when you're drunk, you look in the mirror. Come here, you fat ass. We're gonna get the crap out of your fridge. Right? You're gonna go,
Waiting for Emma to get the B-roll. There she is, getting the B-roll. Waiting for Emma to get some B-roll. There she is she taking a poop?
Later.
Wow. Hey, buddy. And he's gone. Oh, no, there he is. Wow. Look at that.
And we are on a manhunt for John. He left 2.5 hours ago.
Who's counting?
On a walk. Okay. You ready? Yes, let's go. So we searched the woods. He's not out here. We think, how do I fucking flip this around? We think we found a clue.
If I were a clue,
There's a gate open.
where would I be?
I feel like that's something John would do. So we went searching for John, and turns out he's at the fucking gym. So now we're gonna go bust his ass. There he is, just talking.
it'll be.
We've been looking everywhere for you.
You didn't think I was in the most
We whole thing looking for you.
I didn't get lost. We just got all the footage that we needed, so I went to the gym to prep with Jamie for our final interview tomorrow. But we have some time to kill until then, so why don't we walk over to where Garrett is and learn about the 4-game Oracle card deck. Are we testing?
We are a go.
Wow, modern technology.
Back in my day, you wanted to take a movie, you had to look at it with your eyes and remember it. Tell it over a campfire story.
Boo! You stink!
So, John, can you tell us anything about this mountain?
Fucking big, dude. It's real big. If you look, the mountain is actually growing out of the clouds, like Mount Olympus. It's not rooted in the planet Earth. It floats above us, where our gods wait to judge us and hurl lightning bolts at us when we do bad things.
Sorry.
That's a mid-game hazard.
So what have you gathered from the 4 games? What is your approach to using 4 games in your life?
Well, I'm a little schizo with it, to be honest. I really love 4 games.
And what are you hoping to get out of this experience?
Money. When I was like 14 or 15, my friend Rob introduced me to the Joe Rogan podcast, and Tim Ferriss came on the show.
I got a great idea. What if you infuse the common cold with LSD?
He wrote the 4-Hour Workweek, 4-Hour Body, Tools Titans, all those things. I started listening to his podcast as well. They provided tools and ways of thinking about things so that you weren't bogged down by negative shit in your head. So I kind of want to honor that. There's like this curse of being a guru, and I'm allergic to that. But what I do like is me saying, well, I know what I'm trying to do with myself, and I'll document that journey. Clap.
Hey, clap in front of the camera.
Hi. We're here. We have all these cards kind of lined up that you made. This isn't a 52 card deck, right? It's 62?
It's 62 if you include jokers and the modifiers. You have the 4 games. Going this way, you have the hero's journey from ace to 10. And you have the archetypes, which are all the face cards, ego, soul, and self, which very quickly are how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself, how you integrate the way that you relate to others and yourself. The hero's journey is the journey of one person at any given time. That it starts as the jack, is the queen in the middle, and is the king at the end. Kind of like tarot, but it isn't tarot. Grown. And tarot is a lot more vague, and that's because tarot is attempting to be divinatory. Like this isn't like telling you the future or something. The hero's journey is a universal thing. Within the context of that, there are basically 4 parallel hero's journeys that relate to 4 different areas of your life, which are the 4 games, right? And we can demonstrate this if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get all these out.
All right. Keep it rolling. We can speed this up. We can do a little.
We can speed this up. We can do a little.
You know what I mean? Oh. Okay.
You can knock on it if you feel so compelled.
Who's there? Captain Simple.
Your future.
Very serious spiritual experience. The vibes tell me it's shuffled.
All right, give me 3 card spread, which again, this is not supposed to tell you the future, but this is the past, present, future.
All right, so should I say what my question was or just start flipping them, or?
We'll say what your question was after. So yeah. I'd like that.
In case the cards don't fucking work at all, and then I can do it again.
So
the master. So the quote you have here in the book is from James Allen. Who's James Allen?
He had a good quote.
Okay. A man has to learn that he cannot command things, but that he can command himself. That he cannot coerce the wills of others, but that he can mold and master his own will, and things serve him who serves truth. People seek guidance of him who is master of himself. In the past, I was a master, now I'm the present.
Or there's something relative to master energy that you're relating to, right? So you're coming up with a long game story that ties all this together for you.
Okay.
That's how all these work.
All right, so the next one is deficiency. That's where we are now. I'm deficient. Do you think I'm deficient? Am I deficient?
The card said you're deficient, apparently.
Tell me it was good. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm good.
So this is the Dark Knight,
which is
slot.
the midpoint, right? So this is the transition where the jack becomes the queen.
That's
right?
the midpoint. So the first one is completion. It was a 10. Now I'm at 5, which is the midpoint. I've slid back 50%.
You could look at it that way, or you could look at it like
I'm doing terrible.
This might be more that you're inspired by this as a goal, and then in reality you're here. It's not literally saying sure you were once the master and then you like break your legs or something and now you don't know how to do karate.
The quote is from
Yossi? If someone has failed, that is not a deficiency for me. I think that he has more motivation. I've seen many examples where someone was successful first and failed later, and failed first and then succeeded. If they failed in an honest way, I don't see it as deficiency. And the ask yourself at the end of it is there something inherent in those few who have reached a measure of greatness that I lack? Absolutely not. Or is it the only thing separating us, the time and dedication? Am I a fraud who has fooled everyone around me? Or am I genuinely capable of doing good, improving, and making progress? You stole this from my journal. I'm gonna sue you. This is plagiarism.
Now you're a fraud, John.
I'm a fraud. Okay, well, next. This is future.
Yeah.
Past, present, future is resolve. That's 4 of the long game. So in the past, I was inspired by a master, I knew a master, I was good at something. Now I'm a piece of shit. And then later, I'm gonna like, try more, I guess. That's good. That's really nice. Okay, resolve. Oh, that's an Aeschylus quote. I'm not a fraud, I know Aeschylus. He's a Greek guy. His resolve is not to seem the bravest, but to be.
You have this thing that we can identify as maybe it's an aspiration in the past. You decided you want to be the master of something. In the present, you're realizing I'm only halfway there, or I'm deficient in some way. I'm up against kind of like bashing my head into this wall of realizing there's a gap between me and where I want to be. And so what is the thing that moves you through that? What does the future look like? Well, you have to find resolve. You have to say, all right, I'm going to double down.
The question I had in particular was about actually these videos. It's obnoxiously meta, but it's a new thing. I've done podcasting before, I've done stand-up before, but I've never done this mix of like education, entertainment. There's a whole system to try to communicate. I'll be honest, I was bumping into some insecurities about it. So yeah, that kind of applies. So I suck, and hopefully these videos will suck less, so don't unsubscribe. We'll just, keep it rolling. Would like war? Could be fun. 1, 2, 3. Death. You got a 7, I got an 8, I win. So invention beats vision. That's cool because you can have a great idea, but if that doesn't exist, don't matter, you lose.
Creativity beats meaning. No, it doesn't. Ace is high.
Well, you have the ace, so that means it's low, I win.
Sovereign beats compassion.
The king will beat the kindness out of you. That's great. Faith.
Truth beats faith.
Oof. I don't believe that.
Well,
that's untrue. That's not the truth.
It's a complicated order.
Yeah.
That's theological.
Yeah. How do we
play this at church?
I really enjoyed using the 4-game cards, and they are definitely going to play a part in my challenge series. But we don't have time to think about that right now because we only have 1 day left in Shasta and 2 critical things still to accomplish. First, we need to have one more sit-down interview with Jamie for the 5-minute video, which you're seeing on screen right now. And as soon as we're done with that, we need to go ride motorbikes through the mountains.
What do you want? You want a photo?
Hey, Slowpoke back there. A little cautious Carol. Come on! Woo! Hey, loser! We were at the wrong gate, so now we're going back to the other gate, like this one.
So this guy, Mason, he says, reply to this tweet with something funny, and if I laugh, I'll send you $5. Guess who's gonna be buying a gallon of gas today, bitch? Me. So Emma drew a little cartoon of us that looks like that. Completely accurate. That's me saying I don't like rules and her saying I'm happy. Good job. So I'm going to put that on Twitter.
No, you're not.
And collect my $5.
I can do something better.
You got like $20 sushi over here from the airport. Spilled it immediately on the pantaloons. Anyway, have a good flight, y'all.
And cut. Fast forward, and we are now in Toronto. This is where I live, by the way. So I went to Shasta with a mission. I wanted to make a single 5-minute video about how anybody can put on the 4-game lens.
Ooh, meta. Fancy. Time to get working.
And so this video that you're about to watch is what we ended up making. And it's going to be the featured video on the website and on the YouTube channel, so that anyone who wants to learn what 4Games is, there will be an easy 5-minute video where anyone can put on the 4Game lens. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too.
Four Games, in the shortest way of talking about it, is a way of looking at things. It's a lens upon the world, a lens that filters complexity of what's going on. Other way of looking at it is just a map of you. If I were to say, hey, let's take a look at you, and I really kept expanding out, connecting everything to everything, what I would get is something like, you're a multidimensional something or other. And we're going to roughly cut up those dimensions into these 4 big chunks so we can navigate and handle it. A tool in the sense of, the problem is overwhelm. The problem is accelerating complexity. Lots of ways to tackle it. 4Game Dynamics is a certain lens that looks at it in a certain way that says, I'm going to prioritize these dimensions, and that allows me to feel like I've got a little bit more control and influence on the situation. And there's something very comforting and handy in that. It's got these different dimensions, basically, of what's going on that I think when you put your life navigation dashboard together, you want to assure you have. So this first one is Deep Game, your relationship with mystery. So that starting point of mystery, I think, is really important in 4Game Dynamics, because we start there and say, from this mystery, from this common sense of we really don't know, we're going to try to construct something useful. It turns out to be really helpful because you're framing everything that's going to come in this kind of metaphoric common sense. Well, if it's kind of like a game, certain other things are kind of implicit. If it's kind of like a battle, other things are implicit. A lot of spirituality is fiddling with that. Long game is a different dimension. Less your relationship with mystery, more your relationship with time and story. Each one of us has a story, a life script about where they came from, where they're going, what's going on now, and that's all done in the idiom of narrative and story. It happens now, but from now we've got the long game of the future we could talk about, but you can't put in your hand, and the long game of the past that we can talk about, but you can't put in your hand. But there's more than that going on with you if you really look. There's also your relationship with stuff. There's the chairs, the gadgets, the trees. What's your relationship with the material world? That's mid-game, so that's what everyone calls the real world. Stuff you can bump into, the world of science, the world of physics, the world of stuff. Everything that you can examine and bang into, mid-game. Feels like the outer world. So now if you start looking around at mid-game, you'll notice, well, God, mid-game's full of environments, and within those environments are these systems that seem to work together, made of these kind of component gadgets of various kinds. That kind of tier, from gadget to system to environment, seems to surround us. But here it is to experiment and play with. But then there's more to you than that. You say, God, if I keep digging and really try to expand this map of me, there's my relationship with mystery, my relationship with time and story, my relationship with environment and material. There's also my relationship inside myself that nobody else can see. My relationship with my physical body, my relationship with my thoughts in my head, my relationship with my emotions and my non-linguistic impulses and sensations. All of that kind of churning within everybody. That's a short game, that kind of 3-part body, emotion, mind, and that's your short game. So looking at all those dimensions happening simultaneously, pretend it's not just a game of life, it's 4 games. Simultaneously, a deep game, long game, mid game, and a short game. And they're happening everywhere all over simultaneously at once. And you're right in the middle of them. And you can look at it that way or not look at it that way. And 4 games is really the art of when useful, when appropriate, to be able to look at what's going on, this big buzzing confusion, and see the 4 games of what's going on. It turned out to be really useful because suddenly options become apparent. And then that long game part of what's my role in it? How am I supposed to proceed from here? What story am I supposed to tell myself about what to do next? And then you come out on the other side of having that skill with a confidence of unclenching, because whatever's in front of you, you can translate now. But this clenching of overwhelm and I don't know what's going to hit me, but I don't know, starts to go away. And in a sense, your true self becomes a lot more free to emerge of what it really wants to do. Then you start looking around. And then you start noticing the most astonishing things. You notice everybody has got their 4 games, you included. They're shifting, changing, connecting all the time. Some people have them almost kind of elegantly woven together in this kind of synergistic way. And it's like, whatever they're doing, but they've got their life and is together with their environment, with their activity, and they seem to have their 4 games in some kind of alignment. And some people are just a mess. And you look back in your own life and you remember when yours were a mess. And once you can distinguish them in a manageable way, you can start to see some patterns that can kind of help influence the future. You can't not see things in 4 games. Part of the idea is to give you a lingo and a way of looking at things that's so simple and so intuitive, even if you disagree, even if you don't like it, even if you think it's ridiculous, you can't not notice it anymore. It's one of those really nice things where awareness is kind of curative. When you really start putting the 4 game glasses on, you see how much the environments dictate people's reactions, and you start to have a great compassion and sympathy for people. You know, fortuna, luck, has a big part of it. So there's a big piece of compassion, I think, that comes with it when you really see like, hey, there's a lot I can control, but man, there's a lot I don't control. Once you have awareness for that, every situation changes because you then start to take on more responsibility for what goes on in that situation, because you are probably the only one who can see all of that, and who cares to take on a role in relation to it or not. 4 games is for people who want to navigate their life a little more creatively, a little more autonomously, a little more generatively. A lot of us have come to the same sense of there's something multidimensional and mysterious going on, and I have some kind of influence but not total control, and you just want to help start to get a handle on it. I think 4 game is a great tool for that.
Lying on the floor with my dog, Sophie. She's a 15-year-old standard poodle, and she's also not mine. She's my girlfriend's childhood dog. As a little reward for finishing the video here, I'm having a naked bar, man. I earned a treat. These things are actually really fucking yummy. I already opened it before I started filming, and then I was like, I should film me opening it because it's Jamie's food bar, and I'm a professional. Yeah, she smells the food. Who can't eat that? Wish you could. It's people food. Really good though. Sorry. I'll get you like a cod skin in a minute. Man, I pissed you off.
So I went to Shasta with a mission. I wanted to make a single 5-minute video about how anybody can put on the 4 game lens. But I left Shasta with so much more than that. It was really a life-changing experience because on that last day, Jamie pulled me aside and he offered me creative control on a content series where I could do whatever I wanted as long as it was 4 games. And I thought, well, maybe the content should feature the cards in some way. And then it hit me. I loved Pokemon growing up, right? Gotta catch them all. I love video games. And I figured, this isn't just a deck of tarot cards, it's a list of achievements, and I get to pick what I do to earn each one. And if I succeed, I get a card. And that's the content. It's a literal game. I'm trying to earn all the cards. You guys will be able to follow along at home, either trying the same challenge as I am, or putting your own challenges onto 4 game dynamics. My first challenge was to create a 5-minute video to share 4 games with the world. Well, I did that, and I made this 35-minute video to boot. But were they any good? I think they were okay. I hope you guys like them. But does Jamie think that I did justice to his creation? Let's find out.
No, I'm so delighted you're taking so much time and care with it, you know. It's gonna be the main thing people run into awfully early, I think.
Thanks, Jamie. Couldn't have done it without you. I'm gonna go ahead and say that because this process was so fun and so humbling, and I had no idea what I was doing when I started, that I have successfully earned the Joker card. The Joker, as you can see, has all 4 of the games in one, and that's kind of fitting because we made a video about all 4 games. I also sent Jamie the rough cut of this episode. It's undergone another 50 hours of editing since then, but he had some nice things to say about this challenge series. One of the biggest takeaways of all this is like, A, even with all the planning and foresight, so much of it emerged out of the fog of just like, I'm 90 hours deep into editing this thing, and it's like, oh, I just got a new idea for it.
I can't wait to see it, man. No, this thing is... Yeah, no, I think that whole story of yours now is really powerful. How you figured out how to make, you know, that's just... You know, I think a lot of people can learn and relate from that whole thing.
So there you have it. You guys have now put on the 4 game lens and you can never unsee it. I hope that it's handy and useful for you. We have 4-game cards available now, and membership to the 4 Games Academy is open. So check out the description below to get started on your quest to 4-game mastery. I can't wait to take on these challenges together. And until I see you next, remember to think simple, have fun, and get things done with 4-Game Dynamics.
Like not understanding other people's relationships.
We're not weird. What are you talking about?
I'm playing all that Elden Ring. This sucks.
You know, they're trying to curate your life. They're basically trying through algorithms and everything to feed you a diet of what they want.
So we are back. Still Mount Shasta. We have Garrett Daly here. Introduce him already. What else did I say? Cool.
I think Brenda's about to come in, so just.
Oh. Good video, guys. See you next time. Subscribe for more killer content.